Hey everybody, welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. Behind me you can see the New Holland 256 rake that if you followed the channel, we did in a recent video, we did a whole bunch of work to it. That would be this rake right here. So today we're going to work on an interesting project. Some of you may have already guessed what I've got going on here, but if you didn't, I'm going to tell you right now. Prior to last winter, I did not own either one of these New Holland rakes. I did own one years ago, but I bought them specifically because I'm going to make a hitch to connect the two of them together so that I can rake two rows at one time. Now, I know there may be some objections and why are you doing that type of questions, and I completely understand that. I am a big fan of rotary rakes. I think they do a nice job fluffing things up. PTO driven, you can match your ground speed good and not leave a whole lot of hay behind. So I am a huge fan of rotary rakes. However, a double rotary rake, new Kubota, is about $25,000. And decent used any brand that I was looking around at was $12,000 to $15,000. I don't have that kind of budget right now to be spending on a double rake. But I need to, because I do most of this stuff myself. I usually rake and bale in the same day. So what that means is the longer it takes me to rake, the more rushed I get to try and get the hay baled, and if I'm on a farm away from home, try and get it home, get it under cover if it's going to rain or whatever. So I need to cut down on my raking time. So this is the best thing I could come up with. Now, I know New Holland makes a hydraulic hitch that does connect the two of these together. And from what I've seen, they seem to work pretty well. However, they are a little bit bulky and cumbersome because they're so big. And the other thing is the cost. In my area, one of those hitches by itself is pushing the $1,500 to $2,000 mark just for the hitch with no rakes. So again, much more affordable. However, since I had to buy the rakes as well, I'm just trying to keep my budget down this year, and I didn't want to lay out that kind of money. So we're going to build a hitch on this rake so that we can pull the other one behind us. Real quick, just to touch, I know this is getting long already, but I know there are the wheel rakes that a lot of people like. They do a nice job. You can set them to do all kinds of different widths. I am not a fan of wheel rakes. A lot of our ground is very uneven, and I set the tedder down as low as I can, but there ends up sometimes being pockets of hay that will lay down in a dip or a rut or something that won't dry. And that wheel rake is going to grab everything. It's going to grab the rocks in my field. It's going to grab dirt if it's dry. It's going to grab those pockets of hay that didn't get tedded good. And that's sort of the downside with the wheel rakes. The hay that I make for sale is not beef hay, cattle hay. I mean, once in a while, obviously, we have that kind of stuff if the hay gets old or something, but we aim for quality hay. And, in talking to some of the people that have purchased hay before and hearing some of their stories about them finding rocks in bales and this and that, not from me. We usually launch into the conversation of, well, I bet that person uses a wheel rake. So again, I'm not knocking them at all, but it just is not right for my operation. So that leaves me with these ground-driven rakes, and that's how I got to where I am here today. Big, long 4 minutes of rambling, but I just sort of wanted to explain why I went with the ground-driven rakes instead of some of the other options that are out there. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to come back here and we're going to build brackets to come out from here. There's going to be a tube that goes across and then a tube that fits inside of that tube so we can extend it to different widths. and there'll be a drawbar on the end of that tube, and then there will be a drawbar on the middle of the tube here, so that when I tow the rakes going down the road, I can tow them one right behind the other till I get to the field. So that's going to be the project here for this video. We're going to go ahead and get started with that. I have a couple ideas on how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to take a few minutes here and figure out exactly what I'm going to do. But real quick, that's the reason why I chose these big heavy lug tires to be on the front rake, because it's going to have the weight of this rake pulling on it. And you know, if you're on a little bit of a side hill or something, this is kind of an experiment for me. I don't know how it's going to work, but I wanted to make sure that the weight of that rake on the side hill would not start sort of pulling this rake down the hill sideways, which is why I did not want to put just old truck tires or something on it. Why I spent the money on these kind of lug tires, to make sure that we get the grip and the traction we need. And the other thing is, I did this on purpose as well. This rake has a dolly on it, so that means that there will not be any tongue weight, because this tongue is going to come way out to here somewhere, and I don't want a bunch of tongue weight pushing down on that rake. So again, that's why we made sure we got the dolly wheels for the second rake in line. So again, enough rambling on, sorry about that, but I just wanted to sort of explain what's going on. Let's get building. All right, let's talk about where we're at so far. We got this heavy duty channel that we're gonna weld on, kind of like this, hanging out the back, and then our tube will go across here. But on this side, because the frame is angled, I didn't want the piece coming way out this way, so I just sliced my channel and I opened it up. So now when I mount it here, it's going to come back nice and straight. It looks a little nicer that way. Even though this is a farmer hack job here, I still want it to look decent. So the next thing we're going to do here, I'm getting ready to start doing some welding. So because we open this up here, we want to gusset it, and I just crudely made these little, that one's still a little warm, these gussets here to go on, and we'll weld these on. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I have a gusset for the top and of course the bottom, and we'll get that all welded up, and then this piece will be ready to go. All right, here's the finished product. Got this all welded up here. Welded all around all the sides. Kind of messy in there, I didn't clean that up yet. But next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get these set where they're gonna go, and we're gonna weld them onto the rake. All right, I've been working away on this here a little bit. You've seen a few clips of welding, drilling, that type of thing. So I'll just bring you up to speed here. Right now, that bar is just clamped across there. And you can see a little tube right in the center. I still have to make a couple more passes welding on this. This stuff is hard to weld, especially for a guy who's not a perfect professional here, but the edges are rounded. So where the two pieces come together, you don't have a nice 90-degree tight corner. You got to make multiple passes in there. So I got to make one more. Yeah, that's two in there already. And I did weld the underside. But that basically is a receiver for a hitch similar to the one that's on the floor here. It'll have a bigger drop than that. But basically we'll have a regular receiver that comes out and comes down a little bit. And then we'll just use a regular hitch pin. If you can see here, I drilled holes in it, just like a hitch on a truck. Okay, so we got this stuff all welded together here. You can see how I did it. I slid this piece back so I was able to weld on three sides. We got this guy welded up, front, back, and like I said, I did the bottom. And then this guy here, same thing. We were able to weld three sides on that, still a little bit warm. So this is all welded together, and I'm just working on this piece here. You can see here's the receiver I'm going to use. It drops down, it's about 18 inches off the ground. So I think the tractor is 19-ish or 20, the drawbar. So this is pretty darn close. This just happens to be one I have on hand here. It's a 5,000 pounder, so that's plenty. But so yeah, we've got 18 inches to the ground. I think that's about right. You can see this piece here. I didn't weld on yet. I was just kind of doing some test fitting. And then this is the piece that fits in here. So you can see, ooh, hang on, gotta stand up. That this slides in and out of there. And I'm gonna have multiple holes here. I'm thinking I'm going to try maybe every foot or so for this piece is 7 foot long, the one that fits inside of this one. So, I mean, it can go out a great distance. So I'm going to put a hole, I think about every foot for maybe 3 or 4 feet. And that way I have some adjustment in the field. I've never done this before, so I don't know where it's going to end up or what I'm going to have to do, so I don't want to limit myself to just one hole. So there you go. I'm going to get this welded here together, and then I got to drill some holes in this piece. And other than that, we got to paint it, but we're getting pretty close to being done here, guys. All right, guys, it's been quite a few days. I haven't been able to work on this rake steady here, but you can see here the extension piece. It's all primed and painted up. It's not quite cured yet, so I don't want to shove it in there too far, but you can see the end over there. That is where that drawbar piece it'll go from there, from road, that's road position, and then it'll get moved over to there for field raking position. Now you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's another one. There's 5 holes that I drilled in this piece. Since I've never done this before, and of course different thickness hay, you might want the rake that follows this one to be in a different position. So that's why I did 5 different holes. It gives me some adjustment of how far over the second rake is out or in. I may still end up drilling another hole here or there after once I use it, but I'm not really sure. So as you can see here, I got the rest of the framework here that was done is all painted up. So that pretty much completes this project here. If I didn't say it in the beginning of the video, which was days ago, that's why I chose these big lug tires, because they're going to have the weight of that rake pulling on them, so I wanted good traction. And I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe it'll help some of you guys out. Stay tuned, because hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up if you would please, and also the bell icon. The bell icon is important so that you get notified when my new videos come out, because shortly, in the next week or so, I'm going to have a video, weather depending, you know how they change the weather. Weather depending, I will have a video coming out of these two rakes in action. This hitch assembly I built will be put to use, and I'm going to get footage of using it, the good, the bad, the ugly, about it. So you want to stay tuned for that in case you're interested in, well, just seeing if I screwed up, or if you're interested in possibly doing this for yourself. As I said, this is a fairly economical way to be able to rake 2 rows at once. So anyway, thanks guys. Don't forget your comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.